Hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to have you. Hi, how are you? Obviously, everybody's getting ready. Hi, Adiola, for a holiday. So probably not a lot of people gonna join today, but because I said I'm gonna be here, here I am. But I'm also joining the TikTok live. So if you can be with me for just 1 second, and we'll see how many people will show up tonight. So Adiola, if you have your question, please go ahead and type it, and I'll be happy to answer it. So, yes, right now you have me fully to yourself, which is exciting, right? We can have wonderful conversation. And I'm also here on TikTok Live, just in case if anybody gonna join. So, what is your question? What are you in relation to your husband or boyfriend, um, kids or family member? And for some reason, TikTok is acting strange, but that means we're just going to have a conversation with you and someone else who will join on YouTube. So, I have been dating my boyfriend for a while now. We're hitting the 1 year mark next month. Fantastic. Awesome. What is your question? Probably with regards to commitment or engagement, but he hasn't mentioned where the relationship is going. Yeah, and if you remember, if you watched my video where I shared, it's okay for a woman to say, "Honey, I am just curious where we're heading. Do you see us getting engaged? Do you see us getting married? When are you planning to get married or have kids?" And if a boyfriend will tell you, "You know what? How do I ask him if we're going to be married?" Just like that, say, "Would you like us to? Do you think about marriage? Do you think about kids? Do you think about family?" And if he'll say, "I don't like to talk about it, it's a little bit serious for me. I just enjoy having a relationship where it is right now." To you, it should be the biggest red flag when a man says like that. And you can go back and share with him and say, "The reason why I'm asking you this is for me as a woman, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel at ease if I don't know where we're heading." By the way, it's not just you, Adiola, it's every woman. Every woman, in a way, in a relationship, she lives by the future. She needs to know where the relationship is heading, what's happening around the corner. If she doesn't know the future with her man, she feels anxious, she feels stressed. And you should tell him, "Honey, if I don't know whether we're going to get engaged or whether we're going to get married, I feel anxious, I feel stressed, and that's what I need to know." And no, if he feels uncomfortable to talk about kids, family, marriage, engagement, that means he has a commitment phobia. Maybe he is not ready for a serious relationship or marriage. And that means you gotta start looking for an exit way out. In a way, 90% of the men, he told me he's not ready till 3 years' time. What does that mean? After a while, I asked him again. He said he's sad because he was upset that we shouldn't put time in. By the way, a lot of men who are saying, "I need three time," at 3 years he could say, "You know what, I need another year," or then I need another year. He could be asking you for extra year. Are you willing to put this time in? And the question is, I believe that woman should not be putting in no man, for no man, 3 years. If he is giving you a ring, yes, you can wait for another year until you get married. But if you're just in a relationship and he's not willing to give you even a ring and he's asking you 3 years, that's a lot of time. No, no man deserves that. Even if he's the wealthiest, the richest, the most masculine man, he shouldn't, because he tells you that you are of no value to him. And that's really sad, that he doesn't value and is not willing to appreciate you and understand that for a woman, without a ring, she feels like there's no security, there's no commitment really there. He could walk away at any point. So this is a really good question, and don't be afraid to walk away. Say, you know what, I understand that you need 3 years. I appreciate us being together for a year, but this is the time for me to move on. Adiola, it's a really great question, and don't be afraid to let go. You should not chase a man. No man deserves that. I'm sorry to say that. Even though you're involved, even though you're in love with him, it's time to let go. Yeah. Okay. That was a question from YouTube. Hi, friends. And now I am curious, how many questions do you have? Because I haven't seen you before on YouTube, but now I see you're showing up, which is fabulous. And I would love, you're welcome, Adiola. And I would love to answer your questions. And we're going to spend a little time. So, by the way, happy 4th of July. It's only a few days away. Happy Independence Day for those who live in the United States. And as you join, you can share where you're from or what are you dealing with, so we can spend this hour answering. I can answer your questions and help you in the regard of relationship, your spirituality, relationship with married husband, kids, boyfriend, girlfriend. So be authentic and be open, because some people are not really open to get the coaching, to get the counselor's advice. So if you're open, I'll be happy to support you. So let's see, can you count down from 10? I am going to take a shoot woo. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So, how about 1 year? Yes, typically a woman should give a man a year. When you start dating, this is for you time to learn and study. Does this guy wants to change for you? You see, most of the women are trying to find a man who is already perfect. There is no perfect man. All men have their negative qualities. Maybe they're smoking, maybe they're drinking, maybe they're argumentative, maybe they're stubborn, maybe they're mama's boys, maybe they're feminine. Whatever the problem is, the true man who loves you is the man who is willing to change for you. And the man who is willing to change for you is truly a man who you can craft like a Lego. My son likes Legos, so he built one for me just a few days ago. And so you can build a man like a Lego. And it will take you time. The more you're building him, the more he'll become a man that you like. And some women are thinking, oh, I'm not his mama, I don't want to work on him or educate him or teach him. Then you will never be in a happy relationship, because every woman's job is to influence him, inspire him to change. But my ladies, friends, the only way you can inspire a man to change is by holding your cherry, not giving sex. If you're sleeping with him, he is not going to be inspired to change. And so, if a man is changing for you, that means he truly loves you. If he sees it's important for you that he buys you gifts, and he's changing and buying you gifts, he loves you. If he sees that it's important for you that you won't work full time, and he will start supporting you financially. And he does this, that means this man loves you. And so that's why when people are just get together and they're like, oh, I am in love with him, oh, I have feelings, I have butterflies, my friends, on butterflies and feeling of love, relationship won't last. So we have to, as a ladies, gotta become so feminine and gentle so we can slowly start influencing our men to change. And that's how relationship will stand. Yeah. And so 1 year is a good time. Are you feeling sick? You seem under the weather. I am not feeling sick. No. And by the way, if you ask someone this question, are you feeling sick today? What you're doing is you're trying to put their self esteem down. Because you're saying this to me, most likely you're saying that to other people. Would you like for your best friend or your mother or your boyfriend to come and tell you, oh, I don't think you look so well. You look kind of pale, or your makeup doesn't look so good, or maybe you gained some weight? All of that comments is to put somebody down and feel better. Oh, but I am prettier, I am sexier, I'm better than you. So this is what I'm seeing here. And of course, I'm not taking it personally, but I'm just catching your controlling manipulation and domination. And if again you're doing this with me, you're doing it with other people. Stop that, because people not gonna like to hang out with you. You probably inherited from one of your parents, and that's how your parents were putting you down, and now you're trying to put other people down. Not a good quality to have. Yeah. Where let me see. Oh, I'm lost. You are, but here you are. Where can I find a high value man? Friends, I'm gonna say this, but you're not gonna like it, but I'll say it anyway. When you are feminine, when you are a high quality woman, you don't need to look for a man. He will find you. You see, the way the universe works is just we feel as a woman that we're entitled. Well, I am sexy, I am pretty, I'm educated, I have my house, my car, my degree. I'm entitled to have a high quality man. With this, you will never find a high quality man. With this attitude, you will find a feminine man who would want to use you so that you pay for his lunch and dinner. Yeah, because you're successful, because you think you're entitled. And by the way, this is the sign of low self esteem, by the way. And so, how you can actually find a high value man is by working on becoming more and more feminine. When you're becoming humble, you meditating, and you're starting to detach from your self defense mechanism, where you have to defend yourself, where you gotta provide for yourself, where you gotta prove the point, where you gotta show off. Then you become more and more gentler. And when you're more gentler, man sees that. And when men sees that, they're like bees, come to you like you're a flower. Because you gotta get, we as a women, we attract to us either flies or bees. Flies are the feminine men, and bees are a masculine provider type of man. But you gotta also get, flowers attract bees, and poop and caca attracts flies. And so that's what it sounds nasty, right? But I want you to start having the ideology. If you see that you are just attracting feminine men or insecure men, you gotta be authentic. And it's disgusting sometimes to see your negative qualities. I remember when I started my spiritual path to see that, oh, I'm so argumentative. I am so stubborn. And I had to work on those qualities to stop arguing, stop proving my point. And when I stopped proving my point, especially with men and then with women, I was catching myself, oh, I want to argue because I have so much knowledge, I have so many degrees. But who needs this argumentative woman? Nobody. And so I had to be really fully authentic with myself. And when as I start changing myself, I realized, wow, so many completely different qualities of men start to become attracted to me. So look at something that is nasty inside of you and start working on it. And the best way to transform the nastiness, and the fastest and the cheapest, the free way, is through spiritual journey, my friends, because I know most of the people cannot afford going to therapy that is, well, I was charging $1,250 an hour. Well, I started with 250, and then it was 350, and then I got to $1,250. Most of the people on TikTok or YouTube won't be able to afford that. So follow my spiritual journey that I'm teaching you guys, and you're gonna start shedding off your masculinity like an onion. And the more you're peeling off these layers, the more you're gonna start feeling, this is who I truly am. This gentle, kind, feminine woman that can trust men. And when you can trust men, they're gonna start taking care of you. And that's what feels really wonderful. Really extraordinary, where you are not over exceeding yourself and stressing yourself out and trying to provide and protect for yourself and your kids and everybody. It's exhausting. Woman is not designed to work. If you wanted to work, you work part time, a little bit here and there to make a difference, to contribute, but not to pay bills. This is all masculine energy. Yeah, my friends. Let me move this phone to here because lighting is here. And let me see more questions. Happy 4th of July as well. Yes, my friends. We're in a wonderful country and we should celebrate this amazing holiday. All right. So, how can you tell a man is truly pursuing you for monogamous relationship and not just for physical? It's very easy. Good question. If a man is willing to go with you on the third, on the fourth, on the fifth date, on the sixth date, pay for your coffee first in the Starbucks, let's say, then he takes you to the restaurant, then he takes you to the movie, then he takes you to something else and something else. And as you go in the restaurant, by the way, my friends, men will never lie to you on the first date because he hasn't invested anything in you. And that's a wonderful question to ask gently, very feminine. I'm just curious. Are you looking for a hookup, or are you looking for a serious relationship, or are you looking for a marriage or family and kids? I'm just curious. And men on the first date, again, they won't lie to you because he hasn't paid for theater, movie theater, for your restaurant, for expensive clothing or vacations or whatever. And so that's why he'll tell you honestly, you know what, right now I'm just looking for hookups. Hookups. And then this is not the man you're gonna see a second time. And so be authentic and ask those questions. If you feel uncomfortable, you can say, my girlfriend right now is dating a man and they've been together for 3 months. But you know what? It looks like he doesn't have any serious intention because he never talks about it. He never introduces her to his friends, to his family, and he'll say, yeah, most likely he is not serious with her. And then you can look at him and I'm just curious, are you serious type? Because I don't like hookups. I would not want to be in a situation like my girlfriend. And so talk to him. He'll tell you. And again, a man who is looking for a hookup, he's not gonna go to the restaurants for 5, 6, 10 dates and pay for you. He'll be asking you to go to your house, to his house, and he'll be trying to kiss you right away. And that's why you have to have principle. And the principle is the foundation of the relationship. For me, principle was all my life, until I have a ring or exclusive relationship, no sex. And when you have this kind of principles, you will never be with a bad boy or with a player. They're gonna run away because you on the first day say, by the way, I have a principle like that in my life that, I don't have sex until I get to know someone, and it takes a while. You don't tell him it will take 6 months or a year, because to some, to say I love you, I want to be exclusive with you will take 6 months, but you kind of give a hint so a man doesn't think like, okay, I've been dating her 3 months and there's no sex. And you can start gently telling him. But most of the men who have serious intention will think of you like a diamond. Wow, I've been dating her 3 months and she still didn't have sex with me. So you gotta have this kind of principles. That means you value yourself so much that you're not jumping in bed until a man tells you, I love you. And that should not take that should take at least 3 months. After 3, 4 months, men start to fall in love with you when he'll say, you know what, I am at the point where I just want to date you and no one else. And that you should start thinking, okay, he's ready for an exclusive relationship. He said that he loves me. And he starts to want to change for you. He wants to start helping you. And that's the sign where you can start getting closer to a man. But ideally, you want to get a ring, you know, but that's again my old traditions. That's what I believe. I don't believe in hookups, open relationship, you know. I'm a traditional person with high values. That's what I'm teaching you, my friends. I tried tapping into my feminine submissive, but my husband is not changing. Should I move on? My friends, first of all, if you're dating in a relationship, if your man is not willing to change, that's a different story. But husband, Ayurveda says when a woman and a man get married, it's again, most of you not gonna like it because we're living in a society where I don't like something, divorce. I don't like something, divorce. I don't believe in divorces unless a man is physically abusive, drug addict, seriously alcoholic, and beating you or your kids. Yes, you should run. But otherwise, this is not a reason for you to become feminine and for him to start changing. That realistically takes between minimum of 6 months and maximum 2 years. You're gonna start seeing little shifts only in 6 months. So right now you're like, oh, I just try feminine. What, you try feminine for a day or two? Of course, nothing gonna happen. It will take your husband 6 months to start even believing that you're becoming feminine. So just consider you're not anywhere close to femininity. It takes real time, real dedication. I've been working on my femininity, I am kidding you not, for 10 years. And I still have ways to go. There's always room to grow. So please don't expect a man to change like this. A man will take a longest time to change, but once he's gonna start changing, it's gonna be good because we are like balloon, air balloon. Women get information, get excited. She listens to me or other lecture. She's like a balloon, willing to change. But then 2, 3 days later, she's like goes down. A man takes a long time. It's like a heavy airplane. It takes long time to start engine and start going. Like at first, the engine just runs for like 30 minutes, and then slowly goes on the road. But then once it takes off, it takes off, and they're not like air balloons that will go down. So if you truly gonna work on yourself and not gonna be just like air balloon going down, but you're gonna stick around being in the femininity for 6 months, you're gonna start seeing on your husband the engine gonna turn on. And once it's gonna turn on, it's gonna be powerful. Like my husband is unstoppable, his business is growing, his friends are expanding, his sponsorship and investments are expanding everywhere. But guess who is behind him? A feminine woman who believes in him, who constantly says, you're doing so good. I am so proud of you. And every time I'm working on myself, I know that he gets results and our son. So don't expect your man to change overnight. Give him time, be patient, but mainly don't expect him to change. Work on yourself. That's what I recommend. Should you build with a man that is broke but is trying to better for himself? Well, are you married? Revisi Lister. If you are married to him, you should definitely stick around. But if you're in a relationship, you gotta understand a woman who attracts a man who is broke is a woman with low self esteem. If you have a high self esteem, you would not attract him. So here you have a chance. You gotta understand if even one person in a relationship gonna start working on themselves, let's say it's gonna be you, as you're building your self-esteem, he gonna mirror you. And so If you're married, definitely stay. But if you're in a relationship, you have a chance. But also remember, if you're not going to make a relationship work with this man and you have low self esteem, you're going to attract someone else with low self esteem. So I say, if he's a good man who is trying to be better and works on himself, give him a chance. Work on your self esteem, and he going to start benefiting from you. You see, most of us women, we have a nasty quality. And this nasty quality, we meet a man with 60% good qualities, but 40 we don't like. And then as soon as we enter relationship and he says, "Oh, I love you," we start working on changing this 40%. We gotta stop doing that. Because if you're gonna concentrate on changing yourself, at some point a man will be influenced and inspired to work on himself. But don't try to change your man. Of course, I understand you want him to be better. But the way we women do it, it hurts them because every man, like every woman, we want to meet someone and want to be accepted for who we are. And we typically don't do that. We're like, we have hidden agenda thinking, "Oh, I got to change this quality in him. I got to change this quality in him." And that kills all motivation. One second. So that's my suggestion. Accept your man. And how you can accept your man is when I share that all the time. When you work on meditating, higher power knows what you're struggling with. And after 3, 4 months after you meditating, you're gonna start feeling that all of a sudden the quality that you didn't like in your man, boyfriend or husband, let's say he's stubborn, or let's say he's greedy, all of a sudden it doesn't trigger you as much. And that means you're in the first level of accepting him. You continue to meditating or wishing everyone happiness or prayer. 2, 3 months later, you start to feel like you understand him. You understand why he's greedy. Maybe because his family were broke all the time in his childhood, and now he just wants to preserve his money. And you understand his psyche. You understand the psychology behind why he's greedy, or you start to understand why he's stubborn. He's stubborn because all of his family members in the childhood were criticizing him, putting him down, that you're gonna fail, you're gonna fail. And now he's trying to prove everybody, whole world, that no, he's gonna succeed, or now he's gonna make it. And so you're gonna start connecting with him on a much deeper level. So that's the power of meditation. By the way, the program that I'm going to lead online and in person on July 23rd, on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, going to be teaching you how to conquer your destiny and how you will be able to learn to accept your partner, your children, your relatives, your life, even if you're broke, even if nothing is working in your life. And most importantly, you're going to start accepting yourself, because until you accept yourself the way you are, the way you're not, you will never will be able to accept your partner. You're going to just continue be triggered by his negative qualities. And so I highly recommend for you, ladies and gentlemen, join this program. So next question: how do I encourage my man to buy me gifts? You see, if you have this expectations that he needs to buy you gifts, it's going to be turning him off. First of all, if you're a girlfriend, he shouldn't buy you gifts. It's not his duty. A man's duty to buy gifts is to wife, but to a girlfriend only if he wants to. And so, what kind of girlfriend do you need to be for him to be inspired to buy you gifts? And now I'll tell you how to inspire your man to buy you gifts is for him to understand your language of love. So, you're telling me that your language of love is gifts. And so, if you haven't had sex with him, he will be motivated to change for you. And as you're going to restaurants on the dates, you can tell him, "Honey, do you know, by the way, I love when you gave me that flowers a month ago for my birthday. They were my favorite flowers. It felt so special. Do you know that my language of love is gifts? I would appreciate when if you ever think of me." And if you ever want to buy me gifts, that's to me the language of love. I know to some people it's hugs, kisses, talking, quality time, but to me, my biggest, greatest language of love is gifts. Gently like that. But if he already gave you cherry and you had sex with him, to a man, it's like, I'm already good enough. She's sleeping with me. Why should I change? In his mind, you're already doing the duty of a wife. You're sleeping with him. Why would he want to change for you? No, you already give him sex, which is men love that. Why? Why would he be inspired? And now the other problem. When I share this, women start saying, well, now I will stop sleeping with him so he can buy me gifts. Too late, my honey. He would not be interested to change for you after you had sex with him for 6 months and all of a sudden now you're not going to give him sex because you want to have gifts. That doesn't work like that. Now, at this point, you have to work on accepting him that it's not his language of love and gently educate him. And that's how you can test a man. If he wants to change for you, he's in love with you. If he's not willing to change for you and takes you just for granted, well, yeah, it's going to be like that. And that's why for us ladies, it's very important to hold our legs together until we influence our men to change for us. That's the best motivation for men. And let me see the question on YouTube. One second, friends. I'm still attached to my ex-husband, but I don't know how to move on. I don't hate him or anything, but he is not right for me. I answered that question, Lil, on my previous live lecture. So, do you mind um, watching my video from 5 days ago? It's live on YouTube. Someone asked me, I still miss my ex. And in full detail, I answered that question. A really good question. Thank you. So, I hope that was clear with regards to gifts. Alisa, how can we communicate our needs? Oh, hold on one second. I lost that. Let me go back. One second, one second. And friends, I have such a loud frogs outside of my window, so please forgive me if they're gonna bother you. They bother me a little bit. All right, so Alisa, how can we communicate our needs to our partner without them taking it personally? Well, when people have low self esteem, or when they have certain triggers, the fears in the background, the traumas in the background, they will be triggered. So, but obviously, you know, if you've been with your partner for a while, what pushes their buttons. For example, one of my husband's friends has serious drinking problem, and I know my husband knows that I'm not fond of him, but I know to my husband he's very special friend, and so I know this is very sensitive topic that I will not bring up, not to hurt my husband's feelings. And so you gotta figure out how can you communicate or what can you say, how you can say so you don't push his buttons. It's our woman's responsibility because we think we can just throw up and say things. I know one woman, not very close friend of mine, but kind of a friend. And she says, when I go to society, I'm so kind, gentle, feminine, which is not really, but she thinks like that. But as soon as I come home, I just cannot hold it. I throw up everything on my husband. And that's how most of the people live. They show a really nice face to everyone, their friends, their relatives, but they think that they can go and throw up on their wife or their husband. No, my friends, we gotta treat our partners with respect and dignity. They're the closest people to us. That's what who we gotta care the most. For example, as soon as my husband gonna come home, as much as I care for you, my friends, but I'm gonna go to my husband and our son. They're right now out. But as soon as they'll be back, it's my duty as a wife. And so you have to learn to understand your husband, don't push his buttons. That means you gotta talk in such a gentle, kind way. I have a 7-year-old, and my 7-year-old, as soon as I raise a little bit of voice because I'm stressed right now, we don't do summer camps, and I'm entertaining him from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., driving him to one play dates or one place or another place. I get exhausted. Around 5 o'clock, if I start raising my voice, he's like, Mom, I don't like when you talk to me like this. And I say, Mom is tired. I get it. And so, Dad, please take over. And I go relax. So I even being responsible to how I'm talking to a 7-year-old. And I understand at 5 o'clock, my energy is already, I'm drained. I'm exhausted. He tells me, and I understand he's right. And I got to take care of myself. And so, gentler and kinder, and start understanding his trigger points. No, I didn't mean it in a badly, really. I think you're amazing and value your advice. Thank you. Okay. Wonderful. You see, and you were able to restore your integrity with me. But you got to understand, if you ever say to somebody, well, something is, you look like kind of pale, or are you sick? No one will feel good. Even if you think someone looks pale or sick or something is wrong, you don't ask this question. You don't, because nobody gonna like it. But thank you for acknowledging that. All right. Mm, Hi from New York City. Much respect. Hello from Atlanta. Um, all right. Columbus, Georgia. Wonderful. Do I sound different today? Yes, because it's 8:30 and I'm tired, my friends. But I promise that I'm gonna be either on Thursday or Friday with you, and I like to honor my word, and that's why, yeah, at this point, after 7 o'clock, my energy goes down. So true, my voice sounds some different. Woman will drawn to herself, but she still needs to be seductive. Oh, talking about husband and child, there it just came back. Um, you see, no, I don't agree with you that a woman should be seductive. When you are seductive, you're attracting a man to have sex with you, to have passion with you, and this is going to be relationship just based on sex. Yes, you gotta have sexual energy, but 90% of you has to be a high value woman who has dignity, who has principles, who knows what she wants. And a high value woman, she's not gonna sleep around and just looking for a man to buy her dinner or whatever. A high value woman is looking for a man to get married, for her to become feminine, for her man to succeed and become masculine, for them to have a healthy relationship and healthy family with kids. That's what a high value woman should do. But I see a lot of single women I look at on TikTok sometimes, and a woman whose lips naked like this and bra like this, showing off her body. What kind of man gonna she attract with showing her bra and showing her sexy butt and doing fake lips like this and fake boobs here and there? She gonna just attract a man who would want her sexually, but a man not gonna think of her as a marriage material. So no, my friends, seductiveness is just gonna attract a wrong man to use you sexually. So if you want sex, put fake lips, put fake boobs, fake butt, and have surgeries and show it off. But then don't complain that why this man doesn't want to commit to me. Well, because you're seductive. Well, seductive it is. You're gonna have a lot of sex, but you're not gonna have a marriage. And even if this man gonna marry you, he will still look at you as a sex material. Yeah, so you gotta know what you want. If you want sex, I don't think I'm the right person you're talking to, honestly. Um, all right. So how can I find a higher quality man? So I shared that if you were earlier, and if not, I'm gonna chop this video and I'm gonna start posting it on my TikTok. How to attract a strong man? Same thing. Same thing. I attached very bad FLY. Yeah. Mm, All right, let's see, my friends. I see a lot of same questions, so let me flip through them. How was the first thing? What was the first thing you changed? It's been such a long journey, but let me think. Okay, yeah. Well, first of all, when I realized that I am attracting either feminine men or no men at all, there was a period of time where I saw men are looking at me, but they were intimidated by me. 3 degrees, beautiful, smart, but no is at all. They were just looking at me, and I felt like, okay, I'm kind of a portrait in a museum, and I was frustrating. Why men are not approaching me and talking to me? And so I start working on my femininity, and I realized that the first thing my spiritual teacher, back then I had a different spiritual teacher, he said, Alisa, the more you work, the more you're successful, the more you're intimidating men. And I said, so what should I do? He said, start cutting off work. And it was so hard for me. I said, well, I have so many degrees. I have so many clients. He said, what's more important? You want to have a relationship and marriage, or do you want to be single and successful? And I'm like, well, obviously, I don't want to be single. So the first thing I started to do, cutting off the work hours. The more I was cutting off the work hours, the more I was peeling off like an onion all of the masculine energy. And so last year, I fully quit. I don't work anymore. And this was, by the way, the best decision. But it took me years. It took me years. But this the first thing I started doing is working and working less. Was working. Well, I never worked fully full time, but I was working around 25, 30 hours because being a counselor, hypnotherapist, it was impossible to work full time. Then I started working 20 hours, then I started working 12 hours, then I would start working 10 hours. By the time I met my husband, I was working only 8 hours. And then it took me a few years. I cut it off to even 4 hours. And when I had our son, I started working. I pretty much almost stopped working. I was doing just 2, 3 hours here and there. Yeah. Um, you said yes, spiritual journey, but I don't know your question. How did I start that journey? Okay, got you. Well, I was listening to a few spiritual gurus and spiritual teachers, and one was really touching my heart. And the more I was teaching him, the more I was listening to him, the more I started expanding my soul and my consciousness. And then after a year, I realized I am ready to start doing the affirmations. So I started, there was affirmation. 6, 8 months later, I started doing the meditation. And a year later, I started actually doing the prayer. But the first year, I was just listening to him a lot and absorbing all of the information about consciousness, about soul, about spirituality, about destiny, about God, about the universe, the way men and women work, what our needs, what our why we even here, what's our purpose. So that was my journey. If that answers your question. But in the beginning, to start changing right away, it's very hard. You got to start really absorbing someone who really speaks to your soul. And so I don't know if it's going to be me or someone else, but we gotta commit to at least 20 to 30 minutes a day listening to someone who uplifts us. And the spiritual knowledge and spiritual education is the one which is all modern society is missing, because we're all about education and universities that makes our brain smarter, but for relationship or marriage it's not enough. Knowing math or business or economics or chemistry not going to help your relationship, and that's the most sacred knowledge that most people are missing, and that's why divorce rate is high, and that's why relationships are not working, and that's why there's a lot of single people just want to meet someone and enjoy them and get something out of them. Well, I want him to buy me gifts. Men wants to have sex. Women want marriage. Everybody wants something from each other. But when a person is spiritual knowledgeable, it becomes full. It wants to give. I'm giving you right now graciously my 1 hour free because I'm full. I am happy. Most people are in a society, they just want to take. They want to take because they're empty. And the only way you can fill yourself up is not with girlfriend or boyfriend or mother or father or kids, only with a higher power. And most people are lazy. lazy, and they're lazy because they're lacking energy. And why they're lacking energy? Because they're giving all of their time for work, chasing money, chasing work, chasing success, bonuses. For men, it's one thing. They should, because they should provide and protect. But for us women, when we're chasing money, we're violating ourselves on all levels, on physical level, on spiritual level, and on emotional level. Our health starts to deteriorate physically and then emotionally. All of the anxiety and depression, first cause is stress. Where stress comes from? Work. Then physiologically, back pains, stomach pains, constipation, tumors, cancers, all fear, stresses, work related, because we're not designed to be at work like men. We're not. I've tried it. I deteriorated myself, exhausted, with high stress. I was dealing also with a lot of anxiety and serious back pain. So, my friends, all of the money you're making, you're gonna be sooner or later spending them either with psychologists on fixing your mind, or with doctors fixing asthma, fixing your stomach, your colon, your kidney, your liver. You get my point. So we have to start being authentic. We women are not slaves. We're not designed to work full time. If you're a single mom, especially, you have to start working on yourself, waking up a little bit earlier to meditate or start doing the affirmations. So you gotta start becoming more feminine and start slowly detaching. Work is not number one. It's number five supposed to be, and only if you work 1 or 2 hours a day because you really enjoy it. I'm doing it right now. It feels like work, but I'm doing it because I want to. I don't have to. That's a big difference, my friends. But of course, I have a husband, and you can get a husband, because we as a society gotta start shifting that relationship, love, kids, husband, wife is more important than the material goods. Material goods will never make you happy. Success and money will never make you happy. It's artificial happiness. It's like, oh, because I never had it, yes, but it will never fill yourself up. Yeah, something for you to think about. Do you think you should leave after being cheated on? Somebody asked me this question last time, 5 days ago, and 2 weeks ago, and 3 weeks ago. Now, I will tell you personally, and as a therapist, for many years I was saying this, that if someone cheated, they thought about it. They betrayed you. But if they will go through, repent, and tell you, I'm sorry, forgive me, and really grieve with you through the pain they caused you, they need to have a second chance. So, as the spiritual gurus, my spiritual guru would say the same thing, that people do make mistakes, but if they're fully understand and take responsibility for this mistake, and not just, I'm sorry and all is good, let's have sex and let's be normal like all is well, that won't work. And if they're willing to repent and grieve and clear their sins and soul, really doing the work, then yes, there is a chance. But how many people are really take full responsibility? Mm, 1 in 100. The rest will take it, oh, you forgive me, that means I can do it again and again. So it's your decision. Yeah. Well, when you trust men and they take advantage, if you think that they will take advantage, they will take advantage. You got to work on your trust issue, because men are not the evil, men are not the enemies, women are not evil, and women are not enemies. At some point, something happened in your life with your mom or dad, or possibly first boyfriend, but most likely 99% it's with your parents, and you decided that man cannot be trusted, man will take advantage of you. And so, with this story in the background, you will be attracting men who will take advantage of you. Or even if you're going to meet a good man, because you have this fear that you cannot trust men, they will take advantage of you, you're going to turn a good man into a bad man. It's just a matter of 2, 3, or 4 months. So, you got to work on grieving and healing your soul. Something happened in your past. Maybe your parents divorced. Maybe your father was cheating on mother. Something is there. EINE Lelai. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Mm, What about men who take advantage of being dependent on them financially? You see, this is the biggest fear that modern women have. Yes, I get that there's narcissists out there. There are men who feel like, okay, she now depends on me. She doesn't have a job. I make now good money. I am have such a high self-esteem, even though it's a facade of healthy self-esteem. And now let me go cheat on her. If you have this fear that a man gonna take advantage of you once you're gonna stop working and he gonna start cheating, he will. Because emotionally healthy woman will be attracting emotionally healthy men. Emotionally healthy woman that trusts higher power, even if a man will leave her, and even if he'll cheat on her, she knows that she has the best and the real protection is from God. And you will be okay. I'm not working, I'm not making money, I make zero income, and I have no worries like that. The reason why, because I have a strong connection to a higher power. If you don't have a real connection to a higher power, most likely you have this fear, you will attract it. That's what you need to work on, letting go of that fear. And then that's a completely different story. Again, healthy people attract healthy people. People with fear gonna attract someone who will hurt them. We gotta stop blaming the opposite sex. We gotta work on ourselves, healing us, our core and our soul, so we won't attract someone who will break our heart, who will take advantage of us. Really good question. My masculinity and defense destroyed my marriage. Well, you see, thank you for acknowledging that. Yes, yes, masculine modern women will destroy any man, any relationship. Men don't lie. I mean, all people lie. But if you say all men lie, that means you're going to be attracting and making all men liars. That's your story. At some point, I will show you, my friends, how we, as a human beings, in our childhood, create our stories, and then the stories become the reality in our life. Your story is that men are liars. Until you heal that story, you will be attracting men like this. Or you see, never trust me, never tell a man what you're looking for. You see, this is all games, and you have a strategy that doesn't work like that in a relationship. You have a strange way of looking at the relationship. Gotta learn. It's just a lack of knowledge. That's why you watch his actions more than his words. Yes, man, you don't look at what he's saying. You need to look at his actions. Is he helping you? Is he willing to wait not to have sex for you? Which is, by the way, the greatest sign that the man is interested in you and loves you. Is man willing to marry you in a year in Mexico the way you want to? Is he willing to have kids in 2 years because you want to have kids in 2 years, and obviously he wants to as well? Actions speak louder than words. Some men we need to talk with more sense. They're quiet, keep a lot inside, so we have to ask questions. Yeah, obviously. Woman speaks on the average between 5 to 8,000 words. Some women can even speak 10,000 words. Men on the average speak between 300 words, maximum 3,000 words. Do you see a big difference? Men cannot hear us 5,000, 10,000 words a day. They'll go crazy. That's why, by the way, we need girlfriends, and that's why we need to ask them questions. Yes. But they know what to say to get to your pants. Yeah, yeah, they do. And that means what kind of woman are you that have such a strong principles that will not gonna allow him to get in her pants? Because you have your agenda. Men have their own agenda. Their agenda is not wrong, it's just their sexual creatures. Their sexual drive is this big, and their emotional drive is this big. Our emotional brain is this big, and our sexual drive is this big for the most part. Of course, there's sometimes here and there exception. We're different, and it's okay. But we just have to understand that we gotta start the dating process on the right track. with principles, what's important to us, and not sleep and then say, but you know what? I want a serious relationship and get married in 6 months to a year. Too late. No, too late. Yeah, I'm having a hard time trusting men. The reason why you have hard time trusting men, and most women, by the way, have a hard time trusting men because father violated your mom, or they were arguing and fighting. Maybe your first boyfriend cheated on you. Maybe your parents gone through divorce, something happened, and your heart is still broken. It might be 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but the core is still hurting, and that's why you gotta grieve. How can you trust men if your father was violating you by cheating on mom? Yeah, if father was cheating on mom, he sent you a message that a man cannot be trustworthy. Yeah, that's how fathers violate their daughters, and most men don't know that. Yeah. Is it bad to train a man on things you want him to do, like communicating your desires? One second, my friends, and let me think about it. For example, what you're asking, because English is not my first language, but what I'm understanding from this, what you're saying is, um, I am confused. Do you want him to communicate his desires, or you want to communicate your desires? If you're teaching your man to communicate your desires, that's wonderful. That means you're a high value woman. Because a woman with low self esteem, she will be pleasing her man. She will be comfortable, even though she wants to go to Italian restaurant, but because her man likes sushi, she'll go to sushi and she's not gonna even say that because she has a low self-esteem. Or she wants her man to buy her, let's say, diamond earrings, but she said, oh, it's okay if you're just gonna buy me a dress from H&M. So a woman should communicate her desires to men and teach him that she's an emotional creature, that she needs to communicate her emotions, she needs to communicate her desires. But if I didn't understand you right and you are asking, should he share his desires? For example, he wants threesome. No, that's not okay. A man should share his desires, but with regards to sexual threesomes and things like that, it will go south right and left. No, not acceptable. So it just depends what you mean. Um, when a man asks me, what do I do for work? Thank you for hearts, by the way. I appreciate them. When a man asks me, what do I do for work? I automatically get turned off. I see what you mean. Previously, 5 days ago, I had an attorney who asked a question: "What should I do for work?" She works as an attorney. She probably gonna scare off 99% of men. I had an attorney before as a client, and she said, "Alisa, I'm at the point where I'm sharing that I am a flight attendant, and men actually are more interested in me than when I say I'm an attorney." Of course, who would want to date an attorney woman? It's such a masculine job, and so. But in your case, you get turned off when a man asks you that. Um, you can, in the beginning of a date, set the tone in a such a way and say, by the way, do you mind if we're going to talk about ourselves? But let's just not talk about what we do for a living. I don't like this topic. When a man tells me, what do I do? When they ask me, what do I do? It turns me off. Set him up to win. Give him a chance. Because if every man gonna ask you this question, of course he's curious to know what you do for a living. But if you come on a date thinking, well, if he gonna ask me this and I'm not gonna like him, that means you're killing off the possibility for this man. So tell him before you get on a date or immediately when you get to a date, say, by the way, just don't ask me this question until we get to the third or fourth date because I don't like it. But be gentle about it. Very kind. Yeah. When a man asks me, so I read this question. How can I become feminine when I'm single and I don't even have an option not to work full time? I shared this many, many times, and I'll share this last time. Even if you work 80 hours a week, if you have a commitment to become feminine, you will find time. Anybody will find 15 minutes to work up to wake up earlier, or to before you go to bed, 15 minutes, to just 15 minutes a day to meditate or do affirmations. And you see, most people want to changes right away, and no changes happens right away. It's just imagine that this is a cup. In the beginning, it's empty. So let me take hypothetically this cup. It's empty. But every day you meditate, you put one drop in, and next day one drop in, and then after a year this full cup, it's going to be not empty, it's going to have a full cup, and each day it's just one cup, one drop. So each drop going to add and add and add, and in a year you're not going to be the same person, because this cup going to be full. That means you're not going to be the same person, because everybody else is single mom with 5 or 6 kids. They're just surviving, they're victims. But you are now a woman is full of gentle and feminine energy, and now you're attractive. Maybe not to a single man with 30 is with six pack and who is 30 years old, who will be looking probably for a 25-year-old, but maybe you'll be attracted to a man who also have few kids and he's divorced, but who will see that you're feminine and you're gentle. And so anything is possible, but you got to put a work in. You cannot just sit and say, I am single mom. Life sucks. I am exhausted. I have no energy. I have no man. I have no money. Then you might better take a gun and shoot yourself. Excuse my straight language. But if you have a mentality that you can overcome anything and you're going to start putting the action of doing the meditation, I promise you, you'll get on the TikTok in a year and say, Lisa, it worked. I met a man and we're now dating. And yes, he also have 2 kids. I want to hear stories like that. Yeah. How do you become more feminine? Answer that thousands of times. Look at my TikTok or YouTube. Have a lot of questions about that. How to make my boyfriend as ambitious as I am? Answer that question, friends, 100 times as well. But you don't want your boyfriend to be as ambitious as you are. If you're ambitious, that means you're masculine. That means you're killing all of his ambitiousness. If you're ambitious, in order for you to be with him, he actually subconsciously becomes feminine in order for you guys not to battle. You calm down, become feminine, and he will become ambitious. But ambitious and ambitious cannot work together. I shared that in the last video 5 days ago as well. You can find it on my YouTube video. Um, what about men who take advantage of being dependent on them financially? I answered that question 10 minutes ago. If you're celibate and dating, is other physical intimacy okay? If so, to which level is appropriate? Oh my God. Are you killing me? Are you killing me, my friend? So yes, let's not have sex, but let's do oral sex. No, it's not okay. He's still coming, you're still coming. It's not about having oral sex or the other kind of sex. It's not about you losing virginity, my friends. It's about the foundation. When you have oral sex, behind sex, vaginal sex, it's all for married couple. This is the duty of a wife. If you gonna do pleasure for him, oral sex or other kind of sex, why should he marry you? Because he's getting all of the benefits of you as a girlfriend. Do you get that? And why would he invest desire to change himself, to become a masculine, to become a provider and protector if you're giving all of your good stuff as a girlfriend on the second, third, or fourth, or fifth date? Why would he do that? Or, for example, some women are telling me, uh, I'm going on vacation with him. We're dating 6 months, and he wants me to pay 50%. By the way, vacations is almost like a honeymoon. When a man married you, he now takes you to a honeymoon and he pays for it. So it doesn't, friends, ladies, you got to start waking up and smelling a coffee. If a man invites you to vacation, he definitely wants to have sex with you. And why would you even pay for it? And why would you even go? Because he paid for $3,000 to take you to Dominican Republic or Miami or whatever. Of course, he'll say, well, I paid $3,000 and you're not going to have sex with me? Don't even go. But again, if only If you want a serious and committed relationship. If you don't care about getting married, have sex. Yeah, and why do you need me for? Have sex as much as you want to. Well, people having sex right and left, an open relationship. But I'm talking about having a foundation where you don't sleep. You don't sleep with man until you're in exclusive relationship, until you're engaged, and you're not even thinking about sex. Of course, I understand you want to. We're human beings, but this is how you're gonna start influencing and inspiring your man to become a man that you want him to be. But if you give your cherry, or if you're giving him a oral sex, he's benefiting. He will not be interested to change himself for you to become a better man. That's what you have to understand. Please, if you can send what you're saying now to me in a video so I can show to my ex, please. This full video that I'm recording right now will be on YouTube Live right away after we finish. But on the TikTok, I'm going to be cutting it to 3 minutes, and it might take me, I don't know how long, probably a month. It will take a while. So, my friends, I'll stay with you 5 more minutes, few more questions, and then I'm going to leave you. Um, Hi, Alisa. Hello, my friends. All right. All right. Same question. I used to want flowers, but I realized it doesn't come naturally to him. Yeah, most of American men don't buy flowers, but to Eastern European women, it's a big deal. And so, even if it's a big deal for you, you can start educating your men that you really enjoy flowers. So, yeah. Okay, that's true sometimes. They change if they see you're upset. Okay. No more questions, huh? Or maybe I got, oh no, never mind. I got in the wrong place. My God. No, there's so many questions. I'm sorry, friends. I'm so bad with technology. Give me a second to see how I can get there. One moment. Thank you, Strawberry, for loving my videos. Um, The high value men are picking the Middle Eastern women that have lip fillers and nose jobs. Different men have different taste, my friends. So no, not all men like some women, some men like uh, American women, some like Spanish women, some like Eastern European women, some like Middle Eastern women. So please don't say that all men like women with fillers and nose jobs. No. Сразу видно русское. Да, это так. Somebody speaks Russian to me. One can adjust one language according to the audience and topic at hand. I don't understand this question. I apologize, my friends. All right. Okay, I just prefer men that like natural women. Like I said, my friends, you see, some men would like women who have fake breast, fake butt, fake nose, fake lips, and etc. Especially women in Eastern Europe right now. Most of the celebrities have fillers, they have fake parts, and most women who are insecure, they're gonna go for the same thing. They think men like women only with fake breasts or fake butt. But the truth is, every man have different taste. And so if a man watches a porn a lot and he sees women with fake breasts, of course, in his mind, he would want to meet a woman who is similar to the one he's watching porn. And so every man obviously have different tastes. So again, don't try to please a man to say, okay, if he likes fake breasts, let me do a surgery to make him happy. No, you obviously got to be happy with your own body, and then you're going to attract a man who likes your body the way it is. So that's my advice on that. All right. What about men who says, I love you, jealous, caring, but not won't commit to marriage cause financial excuses? Now, if a man cannot financially afford a marriage, you have to understand that you're such an insecure woman that is dating a man who cannot afford a marriage. And that means you gotta walk away and say, it was good to meet you. It was great to be with you for a year or two, but it's time to move on. Now, but you gotta work on your self esteem and have such a high self esteem. So you're gonna start attracting a man who is financially set, who want the same thing as you. Because again, a man can hurt a woman by not giving her commitment and marriage when she wants to, and number two, saying, I don't want to have kids with you. And so when a man says, I don't want to have a commitment marriage, or I don't want to have kids, he's basically telling you, I don't love you. I don't love you. And so be okay by walking away. And if a man financially broke, or he's in his 30s and he's just trying in his 20s and trying to just build himself financially, of course you cannot accept him to get married and have a wedding and take care of you, because he's just in his 20s. And so we as a women have to realize the reality of what's so. When you start dating, you're looking at those things. Okay, does he have a job? Does he make enough money to have a family and kids in a year or two? And if a man is broke and works at Starbucks and makes $15 an hour, how can he get married? It's impossible. And so jealousy doesn't mean anything. Jealousy is just about drama. But the financial security, it's about um, responsibility. We as a women responsible to be feminine in order to attract a high value masculine man. And if you're not feminine, you're just gonna fly in your fantasy thinking, okay, I'm ambitious and I'm gonna attract ambitious men. No, if you're ambitious and if you're successful and if you're making a lot of money, you're gonna be attracting a feminine man who would wanna look at you and like, wow, what an awesome woman. She'll take care of everything. And he will be baking pies for you. Yeah, in the reality, that's the way it works. I'm sorry for honesty. So, my friends, I'm gonna just take, oh, I apologize. One more question. Do dreams have meanings? And then I'm gonna go. Yes, dreams do have meanings. Freud and Jung were saying all of our dreams have interpretation because it's 100% our subconscious mind. And next time you can maybe share your dream and I'll be happy to give you the interpretation. So, with that said, my friends, it's been a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for Friday night. You could have been anywhere with your friends or dates or enjoying your evening, but you decided to spend this time with me. And so I want to acknowledge you. I want to thank you. Please tell me, what are you going to take from this session so you can grow emotionally, physically in your relationship? Maybe the strategies you're going to have, or something going to change in your relationship with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife. And on that, we're going to end, because I want to see that this been a value to you and what are you taking from tonight's session. And then I won't see you until July, probably actually the end of July, because on the 23rd I'll be leading a program and I'll be fully preparing for it. And then I'm heading to vacation. So I'll be seeing you live only on the first week of August, unless you're going to be in the program with me on July 23rd. So it will be a long break, but I'll be posting the videos as much as I can. So just curious if anybody wants to post anything that you want to take from today. You should pay everything, go work more. You should pay everything, go work more. Okay, somebody thinks that. So Mm, my husband only pays rent. That's awesome. When's the program? The program is on July 23rd in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's also going to be online if you're interested. The more information is on TikTok on my flyer, on the Instagram. You can send me a message and I can talk to you more about how you can get onto my program. Alisa Abdullaeva Ayurveda is my Instagram, or you can find me on YouTube, or you can find my email online and send me the email. So would love to have you guys. on my program if you're interested. It's very reasonable, and all the money that will go from this program will actually go to Ukraine to support people who are in the war zone. It doesn't matter whether they're Russian or Ukrainians because everybody's struggling there. So, with that said, friends, it's been such a delight being with you. I love you. I cherish you. Thank you for following me. Thank you for liking, learning, growing with me because as you are growing, I'm growing with you. Namaste, my friends. Um, all right. Have a good night, friends. Happy 4th of July. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste, my friends.